What's cracking, everybody? Instead of featuring a kit that is not the unicorn, I'll be featuring, yes, another one. But wait, hear me out. This one is not exactly featured on YouTube a lot. If anything, this could be one of the only, if not the only, English review of this kit out on YouTube right now. This kit, of course, is the MASTERGRADE 1100 RX-0 Unicorn Gundam 03 Phenex narrative version. We will be comparing this to the standard version as well as reviewing both kits since they are practically the same thing with some differences. In essence, they are still just unicorn kits, but nonetheless, if you want a flashy addition to your collection, this could be a good option for you. The standard one is not that hard to find, though it is on the pricey side. I'd say it's about $120 depending where you're at. But the narrative one could run you as much as $200 or even more. No lie, I'm gonna tell you, this price difference is not justifiable. For those wondering why it would cost that much, is that it's because it's premium Bandai or P Bandai, and a pretty hard one to find at that. But after all the things I just mentioned, I absolutely love this kit. Be it the standard or the narrative version, this kit is majestic as hell. It does have its flaws. Being a unicorn kit, it does have ankle and knee issues. You can get it to stand up right, but posing is limited, but at a good minimum, I'd say. That's because a good amount of it is sacrificed for the transformation gimmick. You can have it displayed in either destroy mode or unicorn mode, whichever you prefer. This suit is the third unicorn variant featured in the movie Mobile Suit Gundam narrative. Moving on to the stuff that come with these kits, I did make an unboxing video prior to this one, so if you want to look at the box differences and the manual differences, please check that out. They both have the same color correction and reflective stickers, but the difference is the narrative one comes with an extra set of red eyes. You do get a nice sheet of water slide decals. Both are almost exactly the same, but the narrative one has this special General Revel insignia on it, along with a few more additions, such as decals for the tail stabilizers. Just like all other unicorn kits, it comes with a beam magnum. You get 2 extra magazines, which can be stowed on the back skirt. You also get a bazooka. Magazine on this is also removable, but to be honest, I don't think the bazooka goes well with the Phenex, because posing with a bazooka is tricky because you got these 2 armed armor DEs on the back and you can't stow it on the backpack either. And in case you were wondering, the beam sabers that come with this kit are pink. These kits do come with some unused parts. They both come with the original head and V-fin parts of the original unicorn variant, only gold plated, and a pair of armed armor DE covers where the gray part fits in, as well as a pair of these. This is an adapter piece if I'm correct. And lastly, the narrative one does come with the standard version's backpack connector slots. So yeah, this is what the kits look like once they're snap built. No decals applied or anything. The reason for this is because if you top coat it, it would not make it reflective anymore. So I'm still 50-50 on applying decals.
Such perfection, but such an
I was gonna include some size comparisons, but instead I'll be showcasing them with the other exclusive unicorn variants. I did a review on the perfectibility, I also did a video of customizing this Banshee Norton, and I got time-lapse build videos on both, so if you want to check that out, please feel free to check out my channel. Now, for the key differences between the narrative version and the standard one, they both have the nice gold electroplating. However, the narrative one has a more vibrant gold tone to it, and these two armed armor DEs that is on the backpack is where the rest of the differences lie. The rest of them are exactly the same kit. Fun fact, it is only the Phenex standard one is where you can get an armed armor DE that is not from an exclusive kit. Keep note of this gray part. For the standard one, that's where you attach it to the backpack. To be honest, between the two, this has a lot less problems. For the narrative one, that gray part is just covered. You get this new gray attachment piece that is located at the middle of the armed armor DE. Not only does this position the armed armor DEs a little higher, this also serves as the attachment for the tail stabilizers. The tail stabilizers are essentially hollow sections where you run a malleable wire through them in order to pose them. Now, fun fact, the Unicorn Perfectibility takes these parts as well, with a little slightly more modified backpack adapter to accommodate room for the Armed Armor XC. Of all the Unicorn kits that have been released to this day, only the Gundam base exclusive Perfectibility and this P Bandai narrative one come with tail stabilizers. So yeah, that's up to you to decide whether or not these tail stabilizers are worth it. To be honest, I really do think they make it a more elegant looking display piece. Moving on to the articulation, the Phenex V-fin is unique. Not only are they a pair of wings on the head, they pivot like this. But you can only do this with the folding V-fin. Like all other Unicorn variants, this also comes with solid, open, and closed versions of the V-fin. So if you decide to put it on Unicorn mode, use a solid closed one so it doesn't fork out like this. You get a 180-degree turn on the head, and it's double jointed. The shoulders and arms provide enough articulation for basic posing. You get a 90-degree bend on the elbow. Both arms have compartments that store beam sabers. They fold out so you can either mount a beam on it or remove the beam saber to have it held by hand. The hands you get have articulate thumbs and trigger fingers, with the last 3 fingers are in one piece. There's a peg right on the palm where you can connect your weapons to, and it connects just fine. I mean, they're okay. Would have been a lot better if it came with Sazabi or Sinanju Stein hands. You can open up the cockpit to reveal the pilot inside, which is also gold coated. Oddly enough, the narrative has the pilot in the instructions, but I decided not to put him in there. In Unicorn mode, the ab crunch is virtually non-existent, and on Unicorn mode it rocks back and forth like this, but it doesn't do any favors for its balancing issues. The waist-joint provides a 180-degree turn. The leg raise front and back kicks are no problem, with little to no hindrance from the skirts. For the knee, you get a single jointed 90-degree bend. You can tilt the feet front and back, that's plantar and dorsiflexion for those medically savvy out there, but you can't rotate the feet. And lastly, the connectors on the backpack provide enough articulation to pivot and rotate the armed armor DEs. Moving on to transformation, we are going to start with the head. Remove the side plates first, take note of which sides they came from. Open the head up backwards to reveal the face, and then fold the mask inwards. Gently tug on the V-fin, and then close it. Now put the side plates back, only this time they're rotated first as shown here. Now if you have the folding V-fin on, open it up. If not, remove it and attach this solid one. Up next we have the shoulders. This is a little tricky. You gotta be careful as these parts are very delicate. Now to make this easier, I like to separate the upper and lower half of the shoulder like this, just a little bit, and rotate this inner piece downwards. This should elevate the little corner piece here, and just rotate it accordingly. For the arms, these are fairly simple. All you need to do is hold it by the forearm and pull it to the side. Same thing about the wrist, but pull downwards. Chest is tricky, you got to be a little careful here. Remove the collar piece, it should make it looser for you. Using 4 fingers, apply inward pressure while pulling the piece to the sides. This should expose the psychoframe on the chest. Use a precision tool or a beam saber to extend these little bits. For the chest plates, just give them a little pull and flip them downwards. Now for the waist, open up this latch located here in the back. Now take note of these 2 rectangular slots. Now pull the chest and pelvis apart to expose the psychoframe in the middle. Now you lock this in place by closing the latch on the back, but this time, attach the peg to the slot that's close to the end of the piece. The side skirts pull down, the rear skirts open up, and for the front just give it a little pull and then push it diagonally. For the codpiece, open up the lower half first, followed by the top half. On the rear end, this is a latch that you can release. Open it like this, which slightly extends the hip outwards like this, and close it like so to lock it in. For the upper legs, they open up outward depending on which side they're on. Then pull it upward to expose the psychoframe and then close it to lock it in place. The lower leg is tricky. First, you'll need to remove this knee section over here. Hold the upper half. Now rotate the lower half like this. Put that aside. In between this gray piece is the psychoframe that you need to push out. Now insert the tool and apply the right amount of resistance just to keep it out. Now reattach the knee section and keep the psychoframe in place by attaching this little piece here to the knee. Now for the ankles, you're gonna need to open these latches here on the sides. Gently pull the leg and ankle apart to expose the cycloframe, and then close the latches again to lock this in place. You then take this armor panel on the foot and attach it to the ankle section like this. Point the side armor of the feet upwards, then flip out the heel and adjust the front part of the foot. Now open up the back part of the leg to reveal the thruster and flip up this piece of cycloframe. Now moving on to the backpack, you're gonna need to remove this adaptive piece. Flip the beam sabers up halfway like this. Now rotate them outward and up like this. Now reattach the backpack adapter. And last but not least, the armed armor DEs. Externally rotate the two inner parts like this to make an X shape. Now starting from the end of the long half, you want to pull these to the side. Same with the second section. And for the last section, open up like this, then hold it in the middle and pull it apart. So about the nubs, after you cut the piece off the runner, just shave off the excess plastic. Use a sharp hobby knife. The sharper your blade is, the better your results will be. Do not sand this though. If you sand it, you scrape off the gold plating. So yeah, just use a metallic gold marker. If these are covered up, they aren't that noticeable, especially at a distance. And they don't really bother me personally, but if you're particular about this sort of thing, yeah, you could notice them if you're really looking for them. Also, it's notable that the coated parts fit tighter because of that extra layer. In conclusion, in its core, it is a unicorn kit. A kit capable of very basic posing, and this one is a little back heavy, so there will be some balancing issues here and there. All this is to make room for the transformation gimmick, but it can stand on its own, so it does not require an action base. Still, I would recommend getting one. As a display piece, the Phenex really stands out. It's very eye-catching, majestic as hell. Anything smaller than a Sazabi Verka or EXS is going to be outstaged by this. It looks great. I'm not that into flashy stuff, but I do enjoy this kit a lot. The gold plating is a game changer. It does offer a unique building experience. Painting and additional detailing aren't required, and sanding is minimal, only for the parts that aren't plated. Nubs can be covered and won't really bother you unless you're being particular. Although being a glossy reflective coating, it is a fingerprint and dust magnet. So for my final verdict, personal bias aside, I really would give the Unicorn Phenex a 6.6 out of 10 for the standard and a 6.8 for the narrative. I really would rate the narrative a little higher. It's a direct upgrade, everything about it is better, but the price difference barely justifiable. And you don't need both unless you are a hard collector. And if you're looking for something with articulation and posability, this kit isn't it. If you insist on painting it, you have to strip it down first. But nonetheless, the Phenex is a wonderful addition to anyone's collection. In a nutshell, this kit really shines as a display piece and is more of a collector's kit though. If you like the way it looks, I think that's good enough reason for you to get it. But if not, you can give this kit a pass. Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope this video has been helpful to you one way or another, and if it has, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more content. So again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great one, and I'll see you next time.